Hello everyone, I am MNB Achari. Welcome back to ESL Drill. This is part 3 of WH questions. In the first and the second parts, we learned how to use WH questions. In this video, I'll help you with framing WH questions to get the underlined parts in sentences as answers. If you haven't watched the first two parts, please watch them and come back. Those two videos can help you understand this video better. Let's begin now. There are two easy steps to frame WH questions. The first step is to make yes/no questions, yes or no questions. You know there are two types of questions, yes or no questions and then information or informative questions, which we call WH questions. Now questions like, is your brother in the house? It needs yes or no answer. So we call such questions yes or no questions. And some questions need information. We call them WH questions, like, where is your brother? You can't say yes or no. Okay, anyway, first thing is to make yes or no question, and the second step is to add appropriate WH word at the beginning. And then you can have a complete WH question. Okay, let us follow the same procedure here. Before we proceed further, we have to understand the common structures used in making questions. I have a few of them listed here with examples. Now, the first structure I am going to deal with is WH question and then helping verb. Now, you might wonder what helping verbs are. Again, you have the list here. I have listed all the commonly used helping verbs. So you have to use one of these helping verbs and then you have to use the subject and the main verb. Of course, if you have any other words, you can write them there at the end. And you have to put a question mark. Now here is the example. When did you see it? Now when, WH question, did is the helping verb and you is the subject. The main verb is see. And you have the other word, it, of course, that is the object. Let's look at another structure. Sometimes questions follow this structure, WH question, helping verb, or sometimes main verb, subject. Now, why do you think I have mentioned helping verb and main verb? You will know that now. Who is she? Who is she? Now here is used as a main verb. Of course, naturally it is a helping verb, but when we use that without another main verb, that acts as a main verb. Who is she? Here is the main verb. Now another structure. We have WH question and main verb and object. Look at this example sentence. Who saw him? Or you can say, who kicked the chair? Who killed the woman? There's a main verb, no need to add any helping verb. Now, let's try to frame WH questions to get the underlined part as the answers. This is question number 1. Look at this here. He could grasp theories of science faster than the speed of light. He could grasp theories of science faster than the speed of light. Here the underlined part is faster than the speed of light. Now we can easily understand that this underlined part is telling us about the manner of action. I mean, in what way the action took place. We have already learned in the second part how to use how. And we learned that how can be used to question manner of action. So we can use how here. But this is the structure that we need to follow now. We have to use helping verb first. And you have the list of helping verbs here. That is the first step. Let's see what the helping verb here is. He could grasp theories of science. The helping verb here is could. And you have it here. So we write could. And then we have to write the main verb. But not immediately. We have to put a subject in the middle. Look at this here. He could grasp has changed to could he grasp. Between could and grasp, we have used the subject. Could he grasp theories of science, the remaining part. But we have to make sure that we don't write the underlined part. We should not use the underlined part again in our question, because that is our target. We need to get that as the answer with our question. Now, how does this look like? Could he grasp theories of science? We have to put a question mark. Could he grasp theories of science? Now, when somebody asks this question, you need to say yes or no. It means we have framed yes or no type question now. So what else should we do? The instruction is frame WH question. So we need to ask a WH word. We have already thought of it. What is that word? Yes, how. Now the question is complete. How could he grasp theories of science? Right, I hope you have understood well. Let's move on. Question 2. His father was a high school teacher. The underlined part is a high school teacher. Now his father was something. Now when we mention something, the usual question that we need to use is what. Now we discussed in the first part what can be used to talk about the subject and object. Let's see the structure that we need to use. WH question, but before that we have to begin with helping verb. We have the list here, and then we have to use the subject. Then you add WH question at the beginning. Look at this here. Was is the helping verb because we have it in the question, in the example sentence, was, and his father, we use the subject. Now the only thing that remains is adding a WH word. We have already discussed that what should be used here. What? What was his father? His father was a high school teacher. The answer is a high school teacher. Let's look at the third question. Thick black clouds covered the evening sky. The underlined part is the subject here. Thick black clouds covered the evening sky. Again, we have to use what because we have a subject here and it's not a person. If it is a person, we use who. Thick black clouds is not a person, so we have to use what. And the first thing here, covered. Since we are talking about the subject, we are trying to get the subject as the answer, you need not change the verb at all. You just use the verb exactly. Covered the evening sky. And what is the WH word that we need to use? What. What covered the evening sky? Thick black clouds. That is the answer. Now let's look at question 4. The children came home from school for lunch in the afternoon. Here the target phrase is for lunch. This clearly indicates that there is some purpose why the children came home from school in the afternoon. So when we talk about purpose, reason or explanation, we should use why. Look at this. The first step is identifying the helping verb. The helping verb is not found here. We have main verb came. And when we have main verb, we have to split into did and V1. When we have V2, we have to split it into did plus V1. So did plus what is the V1 form of came? Come. So you get did and then come. So did is the helping verb, come is the main verb. Now we need to put the subject here. The subject is the children. So did the children come? And what should be the next one? Come home from where? From school in the afternoon. And you have why at the beginning. So why did the children come home from school in the afternoon? You got the question now. Now let's look at the fifth one. They gave the chief a brown paper bag. Here the underlined part is the chief. They gave a brown paper bag. Now here to somebody. We understand that they gave a brown paper bag to somebody. Now that somebody is the object here. So if you are talking about or maybe asking about object, you can use either what or whom. but here the chief is a person, so you have to use whom. And look at this order of the words. Helping verb, we have to find helping verb. Just like we did before, gave is V2 and you can split that into did and give. And then you put the subject between them. So, did they give what? A brown paper bag. A question mark. Did they give a brown paper bag? Now we have framed yes or no question. Because did they give a brown paper bag? The answer should be either yes or no. Now you can put the WH word at the beginning. Whom did they give a brown paper bag? The answer is the chief. Okay, let's move on and see the next one. That is question number 6. They gave the chief a brown paper bag. Don't worry, this is not the same sentence. Same sentence but not the same part underlined here. You have a different one underlined. A brown paper bag this time. They gave the chief something. What is that? So you can use what this time. Again, you follow the same word order. First one, helping verb, we have already discussed. Did and main verb give. You use the subject they. Did they give? Question mark. Did they give the chief a question mark? Now you can put what at the beginning. What did they give the chief? Answer, a brown paper bag. Now let's look at the next question, that is number 7. The finished product hit the screen in 1957. Now here we understand that it is about time because in 1957 tells us so. And we have to look at this verb here because it's a main verb, but we have to use helping verb and subject and main verb. Hit is verb 2, so you can split this into did and V1. So did and V1 form is hit. Did hit. What is the subject here? The finished product. So you put that here between them. Did the finished product hit the screen? Now you put the question at the beginning, question word at the beginning. When did the finished product hit the screen? The answer is in 1957. Let's look at number 8. The film was watched repeatedly soon after its release. Now here repeatedly, this adverb tells us that that this is there to describe the manner of action. Now the film was watched, that is the action, and how did it happen? The manner in which it happened, repeatedly. So we have to use the question word how. But look at this structure again. We need helping verb, but we have the helping verb here because this is in passive form. You have the helping verb and the main verb. So you put helping verb was and then you put the subject in the middle and then watched. Was the film watched? Was the film watched? When? Soon after its release. Was the film watched soon after its release? This is yes or no question. Now you can put the WH word. How was the film watched soon after its release? Let's look at question number 9. When Savitri was 12, she was offered a role in the film Agni Pariksha. Now 12 tells us that it is about age. Now what can we use when we talk about age? You have to use how old. We have helping verb was, so we can use it directly. Was Savitri when she was offered a role in the film Agni Pariksha. See here we have avoided this 12 and we used everything there. Was Savitri when she was offered. We have brought when here to the beginning here. When she was offered a role in the film Agni Pariksha. And you put a question mark. Now you use the WH word at the beginning. How old? It's not a word actually, WH phrase. How old? How old was Savitri when she was offered a role in the film Agni Pariksha? Let's look at number 10. Our scriptures are the storehouses of spiritual wisdom. Our scriptures, this is the subject. Now when we question the subject, if it is a thing, an idea or something, we have to use what. If it is a person, we can use who. So it's not a person here, so we have to use what. But how? We have the helping verb are here, so we use are, and the subject, we'll see that, are, and the storehouses of spiritual wisdom, question mark, and you put what, because the subject is our scriptures and we are using what in order to get the subject as the answer. So we use that at the beginning. What are the storehouses of spiritual wisdom? The answer is our scriptures. Okay, that's it for this video. I think you should now be able to frame such questions easily. If you still have any doubts, ask them in the comments. If my video has helped you, please subscribe to the channel and share it. Thank you. I'll see you in my next video.